Today, we will continue our journey, keep scalping and day trading momentum-based assets. We will rely on our best scalping indicator and strategy. Markets are not easy to trade. We need to focus on more and more specific assets. No more user stock, let's start now. Let's work on improving our skills at spotting entries, targets, and stops all together at the same time. As you already know, some of the very best entry points come from the multi-imbalance zones combined with multi-swing failure patterns, especially when we use those mid-time frames. And when you combine that SR Philip line, it makes the whole setup even stronger and more reliable. Let's first talk a bit about the targets. One of the most common types of targets are institutional levels like PDL, which stands for the previous day low. When that level lines up with equal lows, it gives us a super clean and obvious target to aim for. Now let's switch over to entries. Right here we've got a really solid entry zone that's built around a mix of multiple imbalances and SFP, or swing failure pattern. And if you look closely, when there is an inner liquidity sweep, like the one we are pointing out here, it gives you an extra layer of confirmation and confidence. The rest is not too complicated actually. It all comes back to structure. So, what we are doing here is putting together three main elements: liquidity, imbalance, and structure, all working side by side. Now let's take a look at this chart and talk through the price action and trading details. Finding these entry zones is really not that hard. For example, if you look at this Bitcoin chart, you will clearly see multi-imbalance area forming. And if you shift your eyes over to the far right, using the early chart data, you can actually spot two very clear swing failure patterns. So, what do we have in this entry zone? We've got 6 different imbalance steps, plus 2 swing failure patterns. On top of that, there's also a really clean target sitting below PDL, the previous day low, lined up with equal lows. Altogether, that makes this an A+++ high quality setup. Alright, let me switch over to the lower time frames so we can break this down even further. This is great right now. You find your entry zone using multi-imbalances and several swing failure patterns. You have a clear entry zone to work with. Now what about the target here? Do you have a target? Let's talk about that. First of all, notice this perfect equal lows. This is not an ordinary equal low. It looks like almost hand-drawn. And it's actually combined with the PDL, the previous day low, as a target. It is funny that the price came here almost taking out the PDL, but it did not. Then it created the most perfect equal lows you can ever see in any chart. You can also see that this happens at a proper SR Philip area, a price level that rejected multiple times. Also on this 15-minute chart, you can notice a large imbalance area as well. Okay, all of this great, but how do we enter this trade? Let's talk about that. So on this 5-minute chart, what do we know? We know we have an extremely clear target below and a great entry zone with 6 imbalances and 2 swing failure patterns came together. So all we need right now is a great structure. So as you can see, there is a market structure break here, then pulls back into an imbalance and then crash to take the PDL out. I think this is one of the clearest setups you can take, and I saw many students on Twitter took this trade. In simple terms, what happens here is actually not complicated. This is PO3, the power of 3. Large accumulation occurs, manipulation happens at our entry zone, Finally, expansion pushes the price to take out the target. It is actually that clear and simple. The next day, the exact same setup happened again. This time, let me walk through everything in reverse, like reverse engineering the move. First, if you look closely, price took the PDL down below the previous day low. But how did it happen? Check carefully. The market structure breaks because the inner trend flipped and became a clear downtrend here. So structure changed to take out the PDL. But the question is, why did this happen in this specific area? Why is this area so extremely important? First of all, notice the inner SR flip right here. Then you can see the inner liquidity sweep, the equal lows being hunted, and all of this happens inside a large imbalance area. So this becomes the maximum fuel point. There you have the SR flip, the inner liquidity sweep, and the large imbalance all together. However, remember that is just the low time frame analysis. What matters the most is what happened on the higher time frames. Let's take a look at the top to see the higher time frame action. First of all, you can clearly see price was crashing badly on the higher time frames, and the downtrend is obvious. Right at this point, you can notice the 5 imbalance taps in total. And this is combined with 4 swing failure patterns sitting right inside those imbalances. And like we already said, who is dominant here? It is obvious the sellers are in control. Look at the gigantic red candles, each one making a strong break downward. So altogether here we use liquidity, imbalance, and the structure. We combined these 3 elements to take this trade. Okay folks, ending this great lecture. Learned about great trading concepts today. Please take care and see you in the next video. Completed the free trading course but still need more? My master classes teach liquidity, imbalance, and the market structure in detail. Combine them with forward and reverse trading using momentum superboxes and yo-yo cost average entry models. After that, you will master scalping with a one-screen free trading view indicator, a revolutionary trading system. Finally, you will learn to invest your profits using my 10-year swing investing with working agent system. Interested? Please see the video description.